So AJ says, hey, fellow Canadian here, where do you buy your Bitcoin? Have you used ShakePay or Newton? What do you recommend? So, I've been around for about 4 or 5 years now in Bitcoin. So I started with Binance, which was a wild experience. I talked about this the other day, but it was just like you had to go through 1,000 hoops before you actually got the Bitcoin. You paid way too much in transaction fees that you didn't even know you were paying. And so then I moved to, I think there was Newton was one of them. There was ShakePay, and there was another couple that I was using. Anyways, I use ShakePay now. AJ, I still recommend you use ShakePay or get a ShakePay account. If you don't have one yet, just maybe shoot me an email. I can send you a referral link. I don't think it's in the show notes, but I think you get like $10 or $5 worth of Bitcoin for free. I just basically use ShakePay now for the Visa. And if you're in Canada, I think that that's the best option. I think that everybody should be doing that. So basically what you do there with the ShakePay Visa card, and I think Fold's very similar to this. So this is applicable to Canadians and Americans. But with ShakePay, basically all you do is send an e-transfer to them and it sits in your cash account there. Actually, in America too, River now earns Bitcoin on that cash balance. But I would still rather hold it in Bitcoin personally, based on where we are right now. So anyways, you send ShakePay an e-transfer or a payment. They fund your account, so it sits there in Canadian dollars. And then you can actually either use that to buy Bitcoin or you can buy things with your Visa. So it's like a prepaid Visa that's hooked up to your ShakePay app. And I pay for everything on there. Gas, groceries, anything I can tap my phone on, I use ShakePay Visa for that because you earn sats back. So even with our King Golf business, when I'm buying like the hats and when I'm buying these quarter zips and stuff, like I pay for it with my ShakePay card, then I get sats back, which is wild to me. I know that in the future, there's going to be some purchases that I made where I actually made money on the deal. It doesn't look like it right now, but let's say I think I paid some bills one day for King Golf and I made about 25,000 sats. And so if you factor that into what we talked about yesterday in terms of the true scarcity of Bitcoin and how it's going to reprice everything, then I'm actually going to significantly come out ahead in that trade in 5-10 years from now. So that's ShakePay. I still recommend people do that. You earn free sats just for shaking your phone every day. But the exchange that I use here in Canada is Bitcoin Well. So I'm going to put this banner. I'm loving these banners lately. But I use Bitcoin Well. So we're going to give away some free Bitcoin here actually right now on that note. So get your phones out, get your Lightning wallets opened up, press send, and somebody here is going to win at least 500 sats, courtesy of Bitcoin Well. And so my recommendation is probably a little bit biased since they are a supporter of the show, partners of the show. But still, this is the one that I use for my Bitcoin. So I'm speaking from my personal experience here. They're the best platform in Canada to use. Ready? Set? Go. $500 sats today to some lucky soul out there. Some lucky soul just won 500 sats. Maybe life changing? I don't know. Could be, depending on how far you look out. All right. So that's that. So AJ, that's what I would definitely say. The nice thing about Bitcoin Well is you can buy. I like the recurring buy option. That's what I set up. And I actually talked about that in the podcast yesterday in terms of setting up a whole bunch of different recurring buys. Start with like 2 or 3, but you could set up like $15 a week. You set up a Bitcoin address for that. You connect it to your Lightning wallet, and then you send it to the new down payment fund or wedding fund or travel fund or health insurance fund. And you can set up a different recurring buy with a different frequency and a different amount based on your funds. So that's a great feature here, the recurring buy. But the swap is the big one for me, because if you're somebody who likes decent, holy fuck, what was that? Barn. What was that? You break something? Well, he doesn't. Oh, you can't even see him. Yeah, it doesn't look too guilty, but something definitely just fell out there. Anyways, what was I saying there? Oh yeah, the swap feature. So with the swap feature, the really nice thing about that is if you are somebody who likes DCA, you really have to pay close attention to your UTXOs and where you're sending it, where it's going to. So that's why I like the swap feature, because you can use something like the recurring buy. You can DCA, you can send it to a Lightning wallet. You can set up as many Lightning wallets as you want to. Just use Coinos for that. And so you set up a recurring buy, and instead of it going to your cold storage every small purchase and building up a whole bunch of UTXOs, you just send it to a Lightning address. And then once that gets to like 100,000 or 150,000 sats, you go back to Bitcoin Wallet, you send it, you use the free swap feature, and then you create one UTXO going into cold storage. So to me, that's the best setup in terms of fees, in terms of UTXO management, in terms of just the whole structure in your funds and organization of things. It's stuff you got to pay attention to. And I don't think that enough people do, personally. So again, you can go to bitcoinwell.com/George, sign up for an account there, and you're going to get 5 free tosses into the well for a minimum of 2,500 sats. Speaking of that, I do have the